Seneca argues that we shouldn't merely control anger, but completely eliminate it, as controlling it can still lead to fundamentally wicked outcomes. Seneca, a prominent Roman philosopher and playwright, wrote several essential works on Stoicism. He was an advisor to Emperor Nero and believed that anger is a temporary madness that, even when justified, should never dictate our actions because it disturbs our mental balance. Seneca authored a book titled De Ira on anger, which defines and explains anger within the context of Stoic philosophy and offers advice on how to prevent and manage it. In this video, we will explore 10 ways we can manage our anger based on Seneca's teachings. 1. Recognize that anger is destructive. Seneca teaches that we can prevent ourselves from becoming angry if we constantly remind ourselves of the destructive consequences of this emotion. The first step in dealing with anger is recognizing how problematic it truly is. The Aristotelian approach suggests that anger is not always bad, provided it arises at the right time and in the right context. They argued that virtue lies in striking a balance between extremes, and that a virtuous temper lies between the unvirtuous poles of excessive anger and a lack of spirit. However, according to the Stoics, there is no such thing as a right amount of anger. While Stoics do not advocate for passivity in the face of injustice, they view anger as irrational and harmful to both the individual and society. For Stoics, living according to nature means applying reason to social living, and anger, being unreasonable, is contrary to nature. Seneca considered anger a vice, with few, if any, exceptions. Here are 3 reasons why anger is so dangerous. Anger makes you a slave. When we are angry, we become slaves to our emotions. Anger clouds our judgment and leads us to make decisions we may later regret. Anger can't be slowed down. Anger is a powerful emotion that pushes us forward with an intensity unmatched by other feelings. Once we realize we are angry, we are already under its control, and decisions made in that state are rarely wise. Anger is contagious. Seneca notes that anger spreads like wildfire in groups. It is well known for its ability to influence people in a social setting, turning them into a collective, angry force that often wreaks havoc. 2. Recognize your anger triggers. According to Seneca, the best approach is to address anger as soon as it appears. Being mindful of what triggers your anger can help you respond more effectively. Recognizing the events and situations that trigger your anger allows you to better prepare for them. Through mindfulness, we can catch the initial thoughts that lead to anger and neutralize them earlier. Common anger triggers include injustice, for example, someone cutting in line or a boss giving an unfair evaluation at work. Frustration from time pressure, such as leaving late for work and running into traffic or being interrupted while working. Dishonesty or disappointment. For instance, discovering infidelity or your boss failing to honor a promise. Threats to self-esteem, like receiving a poor grade or facing rejection in a personal or professional context. Prejudice and discrimination, such as experiencing racism or ableism. Being attacked, whether through physical violence, theft, or domestic abuse. By becoming more aware of these triggers, we can better manage our reactions, catching them early and responding in a more constructive manner. 3. Just wait. Seneca advises that the best cure for anger is simply to wait. By pausing, the initial passion of anger will subside and the cloudiness of the mind will clear. Anger often leads us to rash actions, closing off any opportunity for reasoned thinking. While fear may drive us to avoid confrontation, anger pushes us toward it, motivating us toward retaliation. This is why even the most intelligent individuals can fall prey to destructive behavior when enraged. Whenever you feel anger rising, step away from the situation. Hold off on acting until you reach a calm state of mind. Wait a day or 2 before sending that angry email. Walk away from an argument and seek the advice of a neutral, calm third party before making any decisions. Once your mind is clear, you may find that you no longer feel compelled to act on your anger. In the heat of the moment, the decisions you make are often those you will regret later. You could try activities that help you relax, such as going for a walk, riding a bike, or doing some stretching. These can relieve tension in your muscles and help you unwind. According to the American Psychological Association, deep breathing is one of the quickest ways to reduce the intensity of anger. Simple techniques like waiting, counting to 10, or repeating calming words or phrases such as relax, let it go, or take it easy can help soothe angry feelings. Anger, like all emotions, is temporary. We all get angry at times, but using these strategies can help you manage your anger and express your feelings in a way that benefits both you and others. 4. Use art and music to calm the mind. As Seneca suggests, hot-tempered individuals should avoid overly demanding activities or, at the very least, engage in tasks that aren't likely to end in exhaustion. He believed that the mind should not focus on hard tasks, but instead be calmed by more pleasurable activities, like reading poetry or enjoying the stories of history. In modern terms, we refer to this approach as expressive therapy. Expressive therapy encourages people to release pent-up anger through actions like yelling, screaming, or pounding pillows, which symbolically represent unresolved anger and past emotional wounds. Expressive arts therapy, which includes music therapy, art therapy, dance therapy, drama therapy, and writing therapy, is widely recognized as a powerful method of anger management. Proponents believe that combining creative expression with imagination can help the body and mind heal. In anger management counseling sessions, therapists help identify anger triggers and unresolved emotional issues. Music, a universally beloved art form, has the ability to elicit emotional and physical responses. It can uplift your mood, energize you, or even help you feel calm. When you feel anger rising, try listening to music. It can stabilize your mood and help you relax. 5. See yourself as the offender. Seneca advises us to put ourselves in the shoes of the person who is making us angry. In fact, it is often our inflated sense of self-worth that triggers our anger and our refusal to tolerate treatment that we ourselves might be willing to impose on others. This exercise, trying to see things from the other person's perspective, can be very helpful in managing anger. When we get angry, we often feel outraged by others' actions, but the truth is, we have probably acted in similar ways at some point in our lives. Ask yourself, how many times have I acted poorly? Have I ever acted violently? Have I ever said something hurtful that I later regretted? Have I ever manipulated someone? As humans, we share more similarities than differences. We've all acted in ways we later regretted, realizing that our free will is often not so free, as our passions can heavily influence our actions. 6. Heal rather than punish. Seneca asks, how much better is it to heal a wrong than to avenge one? Vengeance takes time and exposes a person to many injuries, while only one action causes resentment. We tend to feel anger for a longer time than the pain caused by the original offense. When someone directs anger towards us, it's common to want to take revenge or punish them for their wrongdoing. This is the concept behind the prison system. When someone breaks the law, they are punished with the hope that this will reform them and stop their harmful behavior. Unfortunately, what often happens is that people come out of prison as worse offenders than when they entered. The original purpose of prisons is to punish those who have broken the law, essentially seeking revenge. However, the most advanced prison systems, such as those in Scandinavian countries, are based on a completely different principle. The goal is to reform criminals, improve them morally, and eventually allow them to reintegrate into society. This approach is in line with Seneca's belief that anger only adds damage to a situation. Discretion and calm allow healing while acknowledging the injustice, which is a far more constructive attitude. especially in interpersonal situations involving anger. It empowers the victim to act as a healer rather than a punisher. Revenge carries anger, and since anger is harmful, the goal should be to rid ourselves and others of it. 7. Choose your friends wisely. Seneca advises, choose men who are honest, easygoing, and have self-control, the sort who will not arouse your anger, but will tolerate it. According to research by social psychologist Dr. David McClellan of Harvard, the people you surround yourself with determine up to 95% of your success or failure in life. Seneca understood this thousands of years ago. Anger spreads faster than fire, so if you know you're prone to anger, it's important to avoid surrounding yourself with people who provoke that anger. A provoker is someone who deliberately elicits a response, whether they are aware of it or not. These individuals can do just as much damage as someone who is overtly abusive. Provokers can come from various areas of life: friends, colleagues, or even family members. Many times, we feel trapped in these relationships because we become so accustomed to a person, even if they're toxic. However, it's essential to take control of our lives and remember that the ultimate goal is to achieve tranquility of mind, which includes having peaceful and harmonious relationships, whether with friends or family. Surround yourself with people who bring positivity into your life, rather than adding misery or turbulence. Seneca also advises us to resist the urge to be curious, especially when it comes to maintaining a peaceful mind. Even if you're surrounded by wonderful people, the temptation to know what others are saying about you, or to snoop into a partner's private messages, can cause unnecessary distress. If your goal is to maintain tranquility, avoid seeking out information that could lead to despair or upset. 8. Don't seek reasons to be angry. Seneca says, it makes you angry that a slave has answered you back, or a freedman, or your wife, or a client. We often give too much importance to ourselves. We live in a world of comfort and luxury, which weakens us and makes us more sensitive. We grow up spoiled and expect things from the world, only to get angry when those expectations aren't met. We get upset over trivial things, losing items, being cut off in traffic, or when a friend makes a bad joke. Anger in these moments can give a false sense of freedom, but these are just parts of life. If we get angry whenever things don't go as expected, we'll live an angry life. To manage anger, Stoics practice negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios so they could be grateful when things went smoothly. Instead of seeking reasons to be angry, focus on staying calm. 9. Use self-deprecating humor. Seneca asks, what should a wise person do when given a blow? Like Cato, who didn't retaliate or get angry, he simply ignored the insult. If you must respond, Stoics recommend using self-deprecating humor. Cato, after Lentulus spat in his face, calmly wiped it off and said, I will swear to anyone, Lentulus, that people are wrong to say you can't use your mouth. Self-deprecating humor allows us to handle insults without letting them affect us deeply. By laughing it off, we show that we don't take the insult seriously, which frustrates the insulter and neutralizes their power. 10. Practice self-reflection. Seneca tells us, all our senses should be trained to acquire strength, as long as the mind doesn't undermine them. Reflecting on our actions helps us understand what triggers our negative emotions. A useful tool is an anger journal. Document situations that anger you, noting what happened, what triggered you, what thoughts arose, and how angry you felt on a scale of 0 to 100. This journal helps identify patterns in your anger and provides insights into how to manage it more effectively. Daily self-reflection lets you understand your anger better and develop healthier coping strategies.